All right, I'm long inside of the 5-minute breaker using this 1-minute bullish order block. And we also have a fair value gap here, stop loss underneath the swing low. 2,000 or 250. Going for about $1,000. I'm looking at NASDAQ 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. I like the way it's looking. Risking less than 1%. So I like where the risk is placed at. Excuse me. I'm watching where this candle closes. I don't want to see it close past midpoint of that down close candle or midpoint past that consequent encroachment of that inefficiency. So far that candle closure closing above it. And if you take mean threshold of this down close candle, I have a lot of stuff on my chart. I'm gonna take this off for a second. I'm watching midpoint of this order block. I don't like how we overlap that entire inefficiency. That wick is the last line of defense, but I don't like how we reprice over that entire imbalance. Wicks are gaps, so last line defense for higher prices. I'm watching the upper part of this wick to send us higher. But anything beneath that, obviously, I'll get stopped, and I just have to wait for another setup. Looks like we're gonna get stopped, or I'm gonna get stopped. 5-minute. It's a nasty wick. I wanted this breaker. All right, I'm stopped for a little less than 1%. I'm gonna wait for a re-entry, but I wanted us to trade above this up close candle, use it as support. Ended up just being a long wick. So I'm gonna sit tight. This candle's high. All right, short inside the fair value gap, switching my bias, accepting the fact that I may have been offside on my first attempt. Looking at S&P on my side monitor, I like how heavy it's looking. Stop loss, 2 up close candles. It's above mean threshold of that. It's also above the breakaway gap. I'm going for 1,500. I do want to finish up $1,000 on the day. Risk comes off should we take out this swing low here. And S&P has already taken out this low, so I'm using the 6 sister approach. And you have minor sell side here. I'll be watching to see how fast we can trade through that. But if we take a quick glance at S&P, here's ES clearly looking heavy. It's already taken out that low. The Dow hasn't done so yet. NASDAQ didn't even take out that sell side, couldn't take off my risk. But I do like how we form now relative equal lows. Should we take that out? I'm watching the speed at which we do it. And again, unless we take out this low, my stop loss stays where it's at. I'm not worried about it. I'm risking 1%. I'm not over leveraged, not gambling. And I'm really basing this trade idea looking at the Dow, looking at S&P and its weakness. And I do like how dollar index is looking bullish. If the trade is really good, this small little fair value gap, I want to see that stay open. I don't want to see that traded too, but I'm allowing price to work in the lower half of this inefficiency here. Where this wicks or gaps, I don't want to see that be used as a discount array, meaning it's consequent encroachment. I want to see us eat through that. Okay, if you're bullish, you want to see us stay in the upper half of wicks, use it as support. But since I'm looking for sell side, relative equal lows, and since S&P has already taken out this low here, I want to see us eat through that discount PD array, have no respect for it, have no support for it, and then make a run for the sell side. And I'm looking at this sell side here, which has already been taken out and cleared by ES. And looking at the Dow, looks like it's about to do the same thing as well. Oh my goodness, my bad. All right, can we eat through midpoint of this wick? You don't want to see that offer support if you're bearish. If the algorithm's in the sell program, you don't want to see that take us higher. Don't want to see any respect for it. See that right there? That's not the reaction I want to see. I'm watching these up close candles. I want that to keep us lower. I don't care about my stop loss. The last thing I want is to get stopped out prematurely simply because you're scared to move your stop loss or you're scared to get stopped out. Okay, I don't care if I get stopped out. My stop is staying where it's at until that minor sell side. It should be labeled minor sell side. Until that minor sell side gets tagged, the stop just stays where it's at. So Dow has also taken out this low. So you have S&P taking out the sell side, Dow taking out its sell side. Dollar index looking bullish. I want to see if NQ can follow suit with ES and the Dow and reach for this low as well. Let's take a look at it. So here's the Dow already clearing out its 944 low. S&P really heavy, already clearing out that low, still looking heavy like it wants to push lower. And you have NASDAQ, its 944 low is about right here. But I like this here. Trading into a 5-minute inefficiency on NQ. I'm just watching the candle closures. Do we close past constant encroachment? So far, I like how the bodies can't close even inside of the inefficiency. But I'm really watching constant encroachment. Oops. Again, I want to see this fair value gap stay open. That small inefficiency here, that small little pocket. We had a little consolidation. We leave it. That small pocket, I want to see that stay open. In my opinion, it's problematic if we trade to it. So I'm observing this lower one here. I'm watching when this candle closes. I don't like that closure. And I'm looking at the 5-minute chart for NASDAQ. We just completely overlapped that 5-minute inefficiency, but I'm watching its wick. It's 10-10 wick on the 5-minute chart. Dow still looks heavy. Dow looks really heavy. I'm watching it. MNQ being a little stubborn as far as not matching the energy of the Dow and S&P. Yeah, MNQ is not trying to follow suit right now. But the Dow looks really, really heavy. Dollar looks bullish. I didn't get the price level that I wanted to move my stop at break even. So I'm just going to accept the stop out if it stops me out. I wanted to take on my risk underneath this low. Just missed it. It's okay though. Yeah, looks like I'm going to get stopped. I see the first presented fair value gap. I don't have it drawn out, but I'm watching this inefficiency. But I like the sell side given the fact that Dow and S&P has already made lower prices. I like these levels down here. Even though, yes, we have that first fair value gap, but I did like the sell side. Let's see if we can get back below this inefficiency. Down close candle. Don't want to see that be treated as a bullish order block. Same thing how we talked about this wick. I did not want to see this wick act as a discount PD array. I said it's constant encroachment. If we're in a sell program, you don't want to see that send price higher. We traded to consequent encroachment, and then you get this here. So that's not what I wanted to see. So now I'm applying that logic to the bullish order block. I don't want to see that act as support. If there's still any hope in the trade, you want to see us get beneath that, get beneath this fair value gap, treat it as resistance. Like I said, I don't care about my stop. I'm managing risk, not fearful of getting stopped out. Symbol for the dollar index is DXY. DXY, and I use the TVC one. TVC, when you type in DXY, the TVC, I think that's the most commonly used index for dollar. Unicorn Queen, what's up? I have a cough drop in my mouth right now. My throat's hurting, so sorry for the ASMR, unintentional ASMR. Hard day today. A little difficult. But as long as you manage your risk, manage your emotions, hard day, easy day, just keep showing up. But this is probably my last trade for the day if I do get stopped. Even though I would have more capital to trade, as far as I wouldn't hit my, technically, it's not a prop firm obviously, but I have a max loss I set for myself. Even though I wouldn't hit that, I wouldn't be interested in taking a third setup. But all my focus is in this bullish order block. If we can eat through that down close candle, then I'll regain some confidence in this trade. Monday's been cleaner. Monday has been clean. Yesterday's tapering stream, that Monday, when it was really bullish, Monday was clean. But like I said, I'm very strict on my rules as far as not trading Mondays. That's just not what I do. I just like trading Tuesday through Friday. That's how I've always been. His target is my stop loss. That's a crazy statement. I'm not aiming for nobody's stop loss, bro. I'm just trying to trade my account. Since the elections, I noticed price moves are not as smooth. Yeah. So I like how we ate through this down close candle. We had this fair value gap here. I like to see a candle close beneath it. Next candle potentially open, trade up, use it as resistance. And then again, we have relative equal lows here. Same rules apply. If we take out this low and accelerate through it, then and only then will I move my stop to break even. But I'm never in a rush. I can't even talk. I'm never in a rush to move my stop. All right, so we close beneath it. Now I'm watching, can this candle open, trade up, use it as resistance, take us lower, and treat this as a potential reclaimed bearish fair value gap. What's a reclaimed fair value gap? Okay, I wanted to see it be used as support here, takes us lower just a little bit. This fair value gap fails once we get above it. Once we get back beneath it, I want to see it be used as a reclaimed fair value gap, meaning this candle opens, trades up. I want to see it get used as resistance and use this fair value gap as its original form, which is a normal SIBI. That's my thought process. And then should we take out this low, you have a breaker. This is just me talking, trying to forecast things in advance, but you have a high, low, higher high if we take out this low. So I'm watching to see if we can stay in the lower half of this SIBI. We have a small little fair value gap here. It's fine if we stab into that, but ideally it's even better if we leave this fair value gap open and work in the lower half of this one here. I'd rather not see that traded too if it's really bearish. And then small little detail, we traded up, but what did we fail to do? We failed to reach the midnight open. If NASDAQ can run away after failing to reach that midnight open, remember the midnight open is a short-term premium. So far I like how we failed to get up there and we're forming imbalances. I want to see if this can stay open, or at least the upper half. Or if I get stopped, then I'll just be done for the day. Either or, risk is managed. It's also end of the year. Oh yeah, that's why I'm done trading December 13th. Well, the reason I'm done trading December 13th is not because market conditions or whatnot, but like come Christmas season and New Year's, like obviously I want to spend time with my family. So I don't want to be trading like on the week of Christmas and whatnot. I'd rather spend time with my lady, my family, my friends. You know what I mean? I don't want to trade all year round, 24/7. I don't think that's healthy. I'm looking at S&P. S&P traded, if you pull up your 5-minute chart for ES, traded into excuse me, traded into that 5-minute fair value gap. I like its initial reaction. And so far, I like how NASDAQ is working in the lower half of this SIBI that I like to see act as a reclaim bearish fair value gap. Am I closing at break even? No. No, I'm not closing at break even. I'm still aiming for my $1,000 profit objective. I'm managing my risk. I'm not interested in closing it early or moving my stop to break even too soon. I'm not interested in closing the trade if it gets to break even. Like what's there to be scared of? There's nothing to be fearful of. I'm managing my risk, and I only take 2 to 3 trades a day. No, I'm not closing it at break even. And it's a Tuesday. Can't be all timid. Can't be too tense on a Tuesday. We got a long trading week. So that 1050 to 1110 macros coming up. NASDAQ spending a little bit of time near that SIBI. But as we approach 1050, I'm expecting price to start moving, price to start spooling. And again, I'm looking at the relative equal lows here as a draw. If you were to lose today, bro, how would you manage risk tomorrow? Same thing. Just half risk, or I can't tell you how to risk your account. I like a fixed risk, unless I'm like on a bad losing streak. Then what I would do is if I lose like 3 times in a row, 1%, then that 4th trade, I may risk 0.5%. And then do that until I get back on track, find my footing. So if you're on a losing streak, and this is what ICT teaches, I think it's in its core content, but if you take a series of losses, cut your risk in half. But I do that weekly. So I start each new week fresh. Let's say I ended last week on like a 3-trade losing streak. When I approach next week's trading, I give myself a fresh canvas and I say, okay, last week I finished off on 3 L's, but this week it's a new week, new canvas. I'm starting back at my original 1% risk. And then if I go on a losing streak, continuing into that new week, then I'll cut my risk again. But I treat each new week as a new opportunity, new session, new price action. I still learn from previous week and previous month's mistakes and losing trades and whatnot. But, I mean, you know. I've been on like 6 losing streaks. That's why. It's all good. My losing streak in October is probably the same. Probably like, hold on. I'm literally dying over here. My losing streak in October is about the same. I took like 6 L's, but I had like Asia. My morning session losing streak was about 6, but Asia I had wins in Asia in between, so that really is what kept my equity curve decent. But morning session, all October, even November, trash. Like my performance was terrible. But Asia, and even looking at Asia last night, it doesn't look like I missed anything. Freezes your confidence. You can't let that hinge your confidence though. Like, don't cough. I can't even talk without coughing every 5 seconds. Bro, losing trades, you have to understand, Losing doesn't mean anything if you're managing your risk. Even if you're on a losing streak, we talked about, I gotta start titling the webinars because I don't remember. All right, we're trading back consequent encroachment of this wick. Remember how I said I don't want to see it be used as support here. I want to see us eat through it. This candle I'm watching, I don't want to, my voice is cracking. It's a bad day. I don't want to see us stall around in this wick. I want to see us eat through it, have no remorse for it. I don't want to see what we did here. No, it's not a bad day. I'm talking about as far as my health. I feel like I'm finna throw up. Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna stay. This is messing up the footage. What was I talking about? Oh, so it's like losing doesn't matter as long as you manage your risk. You have to understand, if you're stressing over losing, chances are you're thinking short term. If you're stressing losing trades, if you're stressing losing trades, you're probably worried about your day P&L, your weekly P&L. I'm trading for the course of a month. Like October, that was a trash month. That's what I really care about. But if you're on a losing streak and you had a bad week, even if you have a bad 2 weeks, that's fine. I'm trading for the course of, you know what I'm saying, a month, a quarter. How did you finish the quarter? How did you finish the year? Because that's what really matters. When you got bills due, your bills aren't due every day. They're due every month. So I don't care if I have a losing day. If I have a couple losing days, do I finish the week in the green? Did I make some money for the week? That's what I care about. And even if you have a bad month, are you managing your risk? Control what you can control. For one, like increase your studying. Like if you're on a losing streak, back test, what did you do wrong? What can you improve on? That's what I did. Like October was trash for me. I was in the lab. Like I was going over all my losing trades. I was back testing off camera. I was going to do another back testing video, but I was like, I kind of want this to be a personal back testing with just me and my mistakes. And then you just keep showing up. July, I think my best month was July as well. June and July, I think were my best months. And then October, November were my worst months of the year. So I guess they kind of canceled out, which is tough. But I mean, it is what it is. So I'm watching this wick still being used as support here, which is not what I wanted to see. I'm really watching to see if we can eat through it. And we're in that London macro, 1050 to 1110. If I can. But I mean, I've been getting a lot of DMs of people, you're in a great trade, about to get that 1500 you wanted. I hope so. But I've been getting a lot of DMs with people struggling. And I always tell them, like, dude, it's a phase. Like, I had great months throughout this year, and I just finished a trash month. It's like, it's a phase. But you got to control what you can control. Your mentality, your mindset. We're not quitting. We're not pouting. We're not blaming other people. We're not pointing fingers. If you're on a losing streak, like I got my butt whooped last month, I'm accepting that. I'm accepting that. That's why the homework assignment a couple weeks ago, or I think it was last week, was go over your losing trades. And you can't be scared to go over your losses. We formed like a triple bottom here. I mean, in my opinion, this is just way too enticing. This fair value gap, I'm not even looking at it. This sell side is just too juicy, and we're during that macro. I want to see if we can make a run for that. This is just way too smooth. But I mean, that's just my take on it, man. I'm fighting for my life bad. I'm telling y'all, my throat is so raw. Like every time I cough, I feel like my throat's bleeding. I'm taking off my risk if we can accelerate through this low. What I don't want to see is us possibly take out this sell side and then stall around. I don't want to see us do this. Okay. If we were to take out these equal lows, I want it to be aggressive, a lot of speed, and just maintain that heaviness. I don't want to treat this as, yesterday we talked about the London close macro, run on sell side. where if you want to see continuation during the London close macro, it'll take out liquidity and then continue higher. I don't want to see that in this instance. I want to see us completely melt through the sell side, have no regard for it. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to mute myself. I know that's probably nasty to listen to, but I'm human. Like, I'm moving my risk mean threshold of this up close candle. My stop loss is trailed beneath that, so reducing my risk to less than 1%. Very minimal. That's why I'm not worried about moving it. That's why I'm not worried about taking it off or closing at break even. None of that. Like, I'm submitting to the trade idea. I'm not scared to get stopped out. It doesn't mean anything. That's a little, that's too aggressive of a stop. I'm looking at Dow. I'm fine with a minor stop out. If NASDAQ wants to do what I said I don't want to see it do, which is take out sell side and then reverse, that's not what I want to see. I don't care if this 150, like that's very minimal. I want my stop to be above these two up close candles. The last thing I want to do is get stopped out prematurely. But 122 bucks out of 64,000 or whatnot, however much I have in my account. That's like what, 0.2% or something. This isn't the speed I want to see though. I want to see something a little bit more energetic, something a little bit more meaningful. Because again, my main focus is this sell side. I'm marking this up as minor. My main focus is this down here. I'm securing at $100 for my time. I don't have enough room to lock in profit. Two up close candles, that's one bearish order block. My voice is cracking, god dang. Two up close candles, that's a bearish order block. I'm watching the opening price. It's also coupled with the fair value gap. Now, if we were to take out this low, then I'll be interested in moving my stop to break even. I'm just not in a rush. Like $100 is very minimal for my account size. Anything blue is good. Absolutely. Hey, and taking any money off the table, I always encourage taking partials. But since I can't, I'm not in a position to move my stop to break even. Like, I'm fine. 122 bucks. That, in my opinion, that's for my account size. $100 is break even. Anything under 200 bucks is break even for my taste. So the sell side was hit, but it didn't do it in a manner where I'm, I wanted to see speed underneath it, didn't get it. Let's see where my stop is. Yeah, we're already way deep. Completely overlapping that fair value gap. Looks like I'm gonna stop that break even. I'm counting that as a break even for me. All right, so I'm taking out. I still want to tape read just for the sake of tape reading. So taking a loss here, getting caught offside, going short here, taking a little bit of drawdown. We highlight the sell side, gets tagged, but I didn't get the speed I wanted. Not in a rush to move my stop loss to break even. It's very minimal risk. But I do want to taper it until 11:30. We got about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to call it a day. All right, again, 1% loss. First L, if you want to call this a L, you can. Due to my account size, I'm just referring to this as a break-even trade. But hopefully you guys learned something from me taking losses, from me struggling in the market. Hopefully learn something as far as discipline. Not to copy trade because I've been in a slump all quarter. It is what it is. Love y'all. Be safe. I'll be in the Discord every now and then checking in. Send me a DM if you need something. Message me in the chat room. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. See you all in tomorrow's stream at 9:30. All right? Peace.